Good morning, Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com, with your morning news after a long weekend of fun and frolic with Will in the greenhouse. I'm going for the shades today. You can guess why. I'm exhausted, very tired, but great trip, great meetings. I wish everybody was in the greenhouse with us, but it's tiny. It's a tiny little greenhouse, and we had a good time. And while all that was going on, Ethereum was going crazy. And for good reason, I think. People are learning that Ethereum is not Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong, I love Bitcoin. It's a great store of value. It's kind of good means of exchange. But there's other cryptocurrencies that will be good for means of exchange if Bitcoin can't get that sorted out. I think it will at some point, but right now, just look at it as a store of value. Great place to put your earnings of the other altcoins that you've made or lost. Move it over to Bitcoin for a solid store of value. And if you look at the prices here, today we are at Ethereum is at $336 per coin. What was it? 6 months ago, it was down near $20. Crazy insanity in that world. I love it. And people are waking up to the fact that Ethereum it'll be here for a long time. It is a platform where other coins will be built upon, other businesses will be built upon. It is a way to access the blockchain, and that's why I love it so much. And yes, I do think Ethereum will go skyrocket at some point. No, it hasn't yet. Those of you wondering, oh, should I get in, should I get in? Do your homework on which cryptocurrency is the best as far as what has utility, what can you use it for. A lot of these cryptocurrencies will be absolutely gone. There's nothing to use them for. They go up in price, you get excited, you buy them, and then they explode one day. Ethereum won't explode one day. It is used for so many things, unbelievable amount of things. And I want everybody to go to the Road to Ruta YouTube site. And just go to YouTube and type in Road to Ruta Ethereum. And I've talked about Ethereum for years. And just the very top one right there, Ethereum Shock and Awe, is a really interesting one. It goes through some of the companies that are using Ethereum to access the blockchain. Amazing stuff. Look at 24,000 views. That's a decent amount of views. That's a decent amount of people who hopefully bought Ethereum back then when it was, $15. And now it's $330, and it's going to go to $3,330 at some point. I don't know when. I don't care. I'm sitting with my Ethereum, my Bitcoin, a couple other alts that I know the use case for. I'm going to sit and wait. This is a brand new world that we're moving into, and you want to be involved. You want to get your feet wet and get on board the ship because the ship's leaving the harbor. So check out that video. But I keep getting emails from people who are afraid. They haven't bought into Bitcoin and the cryptos altogether. Bitcoin especially. They bought some. They're afraid. They say, should I sell it? It's up. No, you shouldn't sell it. Hang on to it. And this guy who runs Natural News, a guy named Mike Adams, keeps putting out anti-Bitcoin articles. And I hear he knows what he's talking about when it comes to vitamins. But when it comes to Bitcoin or the currencies or the financial markets or anything like that, he has no freaking clue. No clue. And I can tell he has no clue because I did a search on his site of all the articles he's written. All going back, way back. He's like, oh, I called the Bitcoin crash of 50% when it crashed from $200 to $100. Well, big deal. You told everybody to get out of Bitcoin at $100. That was your conclusion of that article. Are you insane? How much money, Mike Adams, how much money have you lost your subscribers just by saying stay away from Bitcoin for the past, 10 years? Not 10 years. 5 years. Insane. He needs to wake up. Anyway, let's go over his latest article, published right here on Friday, June 9th by Mike Adams. This is his site. 10 things you don't know about the Bitcoin casino that could cause you to lose everything. Does that scare you or what? Mike. These are his top 10 reasons why the Bitcoin should not be played with and you should get out of Bitcoin. I'm listing 10 simple things that most people don't know about the Bitcoin casino. Number 1, Bitcoin isn't a company. It has no corporate entity. Why is that a bad thing? How could that ever become a bad thing? That's one of the best parts of Bitcoin, is that it doesn't have a boss. It is decentralized. Everybody is in charge of it as a group collective. No one, central bank, no one corporate executives can decide what's going to happen to the money that you put into Bitcoin. It's a good thing. So you can flip these around and say these are the 10 best reasons to own Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have any earnings, revenues, profits, or PE ratios. I've been in gold and silver for 20 years. Gold doesn't have any earnings, revenues, profits, or PE ratios. Silver doesn't have any earnings, revenues, profit, or PE ratios. What in this is just so ridiculous. And it's so ridiculous because Mike Adams is saying unless it's a stock, a corporate entity running it, it doesn't count as an asset. It's ridiculous. He's moronic. I don't even know what to say about that. It's apples to oranges, my friends. Bitcoin trading isn't really regulated by anyone. Yes, of course it's not. It is brand new. It's a brand new asset class. And truthfully, we don't want any regulation in Bitcoin. It's a free market. That's why it's going up so much. It's not regulated. It's not as rigged as gold and silver. Regulation, just think of regulation really quick. The CFTC and all the exchanges have, they put in stops. When a asset rises or falls too much, they'll stop the trading of it to let things settle down. How is that a free market? You don't want regulation. You don't want, you want to be responsible for yourself. You're making the call. You're buying the asset and you're going to store it in the way that's most beneficial to you. You don't want the regulars crawling up your every which way. Anyway, that's three good ones for Bitcoin. If the internet goes down, Bitcoin ceases to exist. Biggest lie ever. Biggest lie ever. If the internet goes down, your Bitcoin's exactly the same as it was before. If you have your private key in your hand, it's exactly the same. It doesn't go away. So so what he's trying to say, if the internet goes down and never comes back up again, then it would be difficult to use Bitcoin. That is true. It will be difficult to use Bitcoin. But it won't matter. We'll all be dead. Gold and silver will be worthless as well. The internet is absolutely vital to the delivery of anything from power to communications to food to water to energy. If the internet goes down, we all die anyway. Your gold and silver will be worthless as well, my friends. So just by saying that, I can tell he has not thought very deeply about if the internet goes down. Once the internet comes back up, your Bitcoin is exactly where it was before. So not a good reason to stay out of one of the fastest rising and best asset classes in the world right now. Number 5, very few merchants accept Bitcoin as a form of payment, although this could grow. That's true, but I can get almost anything I want by buying. I can buy a Amazon gift card, so I can buy anything with Bitcoin and buy anything on Amazon with Bitcoin. Today, Overstock.com takes Bitcoin. They sell almost everything. You can get a lot of things. Yes, it will grow. It will continue to grow. As the old fiat system gets kicked out, Bitcoin will grow. And so I don't see why that is. Actually, it's another positive thing for Bitcoin. More and more people will be adapting it as a form of payment, meaning more and more people will get involved. So in some ways, I say, yeah, that's right. Very few merchants accept Bitcoin, but that's a really good thing. It just proves we're at the very beginning stages. Wait till every single merchant in the world accepts Bitcoin. Think of the price of Bitcoin at that point. Number 6, Bitcoin transactions aren't free. They're currently running $23.66 per transaction. Yes, there's a scaling problem, and Bitcoin has had problems since day one. It's a brand new thing, and the problems are solved and it moves on. I think the problems will be solved with this and it moves on, or maybe even it just stays a store of value. Maybe it's not used in everyday transactions. We use something else like Dash or Litecoin or one of the cheaper ones, but they're going to have their problems too with scalability. So, I mean, my take was always, hey, let's do a hard fork, Bitcoin Unlimited, and that way we don't have to worry about this ever again. But again, it's the community that decides where the direction of Bitcoin. So they don't take my advice. The community as a whole, I can argue all I want about the need to keep it as a means of exchange rather than a store of value, but it doesn't matter. There's a lot of other cryptos I can use as a means of exchange if they're willing to move faster than the Bitcoin people. And it's kind of looking that way because all the other cryptos are going crazy too. Number 7, because Bitcoin isn't regulated by the SEC, Bitcoin promoters can claim any forward-looking estimates for future value. Sure we can. It's a free world. It's a free market. You can say anything. Back it up with reasons, and it's either true or not true. And the thing is, this guy, Mike Adams, is saying, Bitcoin's going to crash. You're saying exactly the same thing, Mike Adams, except it's in the other direction, and you've been 100% wrong. All your subscribers, do they have the right to sue you for being 100% wrong? I don't know. You tell me. You're the one claiming that the SEC needs to regulate this stuff. So, yeah, the only problem right now is all your subscribers have been left in the dust. And as they wave goodbye to the Bitcoin train, you're telling them not to get in. You're mean that way. Crazy. All right, number 8. You can sue anyone. You can't sue anyone if you lose money in Bitcoin. Of course not. This is, we're all grown-ups here. If you make a bet, you make a prediction of where an asset price will go, and it doesn't go your way, it's good that you can't sue them. Why be able to sue someone for your stupid mistake? Right? Everybody can get into Bitcoin or stay out of Bitcoin. It's up to them. And no, I don't think people should be running around suing everybody every time they lose money. Caveat emptor. This is the free market at work, my friends. Number 9, nearly all Bitcoin promoters have a conflict of interest in attracting more buyers into Bitcoin. I wouldn't call it a conflict of interest at all. You're conflicted in that you're saying that Bitcoin shouldn't be valued so much. All your subscribers are pissed off at you, Mike, because you told them not to get into Bitcoin when it was at $100 per Bitcoin. And now you're publishing articles every day saying that Bitcoin's going to crash. I mean, just go through this Natural News website, do a search for Bitcoin, and you can see everything he's said since Bitcoin was at $100. He's lost so much money for his followers. Now he's just saying it because, oh my God, it's in a bubble. Because his followers weren't smart enough to think for themselves and make the purchase of Bitcoin. Don't listen to Mike. Make the purchase and sit and wait. You would be rich by now, but no. You go send Mike an email. Say, hey, what happened, buddy? You know, it was at $100. You said don't get in. And now it's at, say, at $2,900. You're still saying don't get in. When are you going to say get in? When it's at $1 million? By then, he'll have to get in because that might be our only money at that time. Number 10, and the final. Bitcoin isn't a very liquid market compared to the stock market. Transactions can take days to clear. Yes, transactions can take days to clear. Bitcoin market is very liquid, extremely liquid. If you have $100 billion, well, there's not $100 billion. If you have $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, yes, if you try to sell it, it's going to affect the price just like any other market. But at some point, it will find the equilibrium. People will buy it, and it'll go up, and that $1 billion won't be concentrated anymore. It's just so sad when these are 10 of the stupidest reasons to stay away from Bitcoin. You should do exactly the opposite because of every one of these reasons. And the liquidity is getting bigger and bigger in Bitcoin every single day. All kinds of exchanges all around the world. So if you are you going to invest a couple $1,000 or tens of $1,000s or a couple $1 million in Bitcoin, you will be able to get out. Don't you worry. You're not going to want to get out. It's the unbacked fiat monetary system that's crashing that will really make you want to hang on to your Bitcoin. Anyway, this is the only time I'm going to comment on this guy, so my subscribers, please don't send me emails about him. He's going to be saying, oh, Bitcoin's going to crash for the next 10 years, so just blow it off. Remember that name, Mike Adams of Natural News. And anything you see from him, take it with a grain of salt. Sure, read it, but use your own head, use your own mind, and analyze, does this make sense to you? All right, this is Bix Weir, roadtoroto.com. One last look at our cryptos. Bitcoin is at $29.24, and Ethereum is at $336. You gotta love that. And people are finding out that it is a really good asset to own, and it will be for decades to come. Decades. Just put yourself out 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Think of your kids inheriting Ethereum when they're into their 20s and 30s from their brilliant parent who bought in when it was only $330. This is Bix Weir. We'll talk to you later.